Fadó. That's how you start a story in Irish. And I have an ambitious tale for you today, the whole history of Gaeilge. I loved my university Irish classes and the Donegal brogue of mhúinteor. But this one time, as we all sat together singing about a crazy goat, I was hit by how different Irish felt. Here's a language spoken in a land full of Béarla, yet it seemed far more foreign than normal European languages, which left me wondering what made Irish end up so Irishy. Fadó, Irish began life like almost every other language in Western Europe. BPróta-Ind-Eorpais. I just felt like saying Proto-Indo-European in Irish. Early on, PIE split in two. A K side versus the sh side. Some Kers blazed a trail out west and settled in Europe. Not like somewhere in Europe, the whole thing. The Celts, these great migrators, spoke Proto-Celtic. Celtic is a minefield of theories. Irish and Welsh features that look suspiciously Semitic, or a slew of things that look a bit too Italic. Even within Celtic, things get theoretical. Do these words start with a P, or do they start with a K? Solution: draw a line, P Celtic versus Q Celtic. Boom, classification done. Unless you trust the more popular model, an island group versus everything else. Sad story, everything else died. But either way, here or here, Celts invaded Éire. Invaded, if you believe this legend, which historians don't anymore. Oh, Irish, your theories never end. Enough theory. Here's tangible evidence. It looks like some Celtic scorekeeping, but pull out your cheat sheet. 2, 3, carry the slash. Whoa, look, names! Early Irish names with mach and o. Meet the Ogham script. Conveniently located in your nearest archaic Irish-speaking region. That includes you, future UK. Ogham soon meets its match. Pádraig. He brings conversion and a bookish alphabet. Not just Pádraig, though, everyone remembers him. Ireland will evermore remember names like Bríd agus Colm Cille. Their Latin ink is spared for holy things, but scribbles in sacred margins give us a glimpse of Goídelc. And a snag. From stone to page, Old Irish evolves way too fast. Lost syllables, mixed up morphemes, slender versus broad consonants, starting sounds being mutated by complicated grammatical rules. The Gaelic, patron script of gospels and pubs, is forced to strain over 60 phonemes from just 18 letters, a rare feat in alphabet history. But it does throw us a fada for long vowels and a buile for lenition. Máthair, mháthair. Next comes Middle Irish, your trusted source for everything from cattle raids to Goídel Glas, legendary ancestor of the Gaelic. So just what is Gaelic? Well, not just Irish. See, outside these books, Goídelc was spreading north, eventually to become Gaeilge and Gaelic. Now compared to Sasana, where English is borrowing heaps from its Norman conquerors, Irish stays remarkably conservative. And that's despite Vikings and despite Latin loans. Just in the seas, they borrowed Cille, Cascia, and, oh yes, even Clan. And despite their own Norman invasion. Booted from his throne for abducting another king's wife, Diarmid turns to Sasana and opens the door. In storms Richard Fitzgilbert with his army of Norman knights. They take the cities. Irish stays strong in rural areas where it's already looking early modern and ready for new blood. The Black Death slams the city overlords. England retreats and fences in on File around Dublin. But beyond the Pale, a Gaelic revival is brewing. The leftover Normans become Nis Gaeli Nana Gael Hain, and names with feats start to take on an Irish ring. England peers nervously over the fence. Some hooligan Fitzes, those Fitzgeralds, are starting trouble. Call in the Tudors, who spend generations crushing rebels and pushing a plantation policy. Take Gaelic land, give it to colonizers. As James I finally brings this costly conquest to an end, he has a major target in mind for planters, the then remote Gaelic North. After all this, an embattled Gaeilge still enters its modern period, with old words and old grammar galore. Verb first word order, noun cases, passives, even an ancient difference between dependent and independent forms. Vime, nirome, and rotu. Over the 17 and 1800s, Gaeilge will dwindle. It's locked out of schools. It heads abroad, even briefly turning a Caribbean island into a multi-ethnic Gaelic enclave. But back home, famine hits. Twice. Once in 1740, and worse in the 1840s. And Gortamor. 1 million starve, another million flee, disproportionately Irish speakers. The turn of the 20th century brought Cille for Irish. Gaelic Revival Part 2! With war and with the building of a new old nation came new concepts. Gaeltachtaí, traditional Irish-speaking regions. Standard Irish. The old clo was scrapped, but its legacy lingered, like this agus. Awkward spelling became not graceful, but organized awkwardness. Like Cille agus lean le lean. Surround broad consonants with broad vowels and slender ones with slender vowels, because silent vowels make everything better. Irish settled into a ditch between hope and loss. Urban Irish is finding new life, while the Gaeltacht keeps shrinking. Mhúinteor came from one of the last healthy areas, but he moved away, and here he was with us, singing about a crazy goat, and leaving me curious to learn the history of Gaeilge. Stick around and subscribe for language.